Gold FM is #1 here in Sigatoka.
Gold FM is our favorite radio station here in Lautoka.
Gold FM is #1 in Nel.
I love listening to Gold FM in Ba.
We love listening to Gold FM, only the classic hits here in Suva.
Hear about Coca-Cola, you immediately think of gold. I'm Josephine Sabi and I love hearing Gold FM.
Gold FM, only the classic hits.
In this bulletin, prominent high school investigated for not starting classes. Big increase in the number of homeless in the capital. And students not interested in scholarships. Good evening, I'm Jackie Spate and this is FBC News. 3 weeks into the new school year and one of the Western Division's most prominent schools is yet to start Form 7 classes. The Education Minister ordered an investigation into this concerning situation after FBC News raised this issue with him during his school's tour in Ba this morning. Christopher Chand reports.
The Education Minister didn't know about Natambua High School's failure to start Form 7 classes.
That's the story in Natambua, Form 7, because I'm told that they haven't started Form 7. They haven't started. They have not started.
Soon after, Philippe Mbole ordered a team from the Lautoka Education Office to visit Natambua to find out why classes have not started 3 weeks into the new school year.
Asking the man in charge, Mr. Provost, he said he lives in Lautoka also, to find out from me why they haven't started. By the end of the day, I will get the story before the end of the day.
Parents have also raised concerns about other issues at the school. One classroom has no furniture and there's been problems with Form 6 enrollments.
Parents formed the committee in the committee, and the committee has been paid the money by government. And I don't know what's stopping them from buying the desks.
Natambua High School Principal Shashi Kumar didn't want to comment, but it's believed Form 7 students will have to wait till the school gets new furniture before they can start classes. Meanwhile, the Education Ministry is concerned that the principal didn't inform it about the delay. Principal Education Officer Western Albert Wise visited the school today and is expected to submit his report to the Minister and his Permanent Secretary soon. Christopher Chand, FBC News.
There seems to be an explosion in the number of homeless people sleeping on the streets of the capital. FBC News took a walk through the city and found out while some genuinely don't have a place to stay, others are just exploiting the system.
When Suva shuts down every evening, the homeless come out in numbers. This shopping area of Rajbai Patel Street, a favorite place to lay down for the night.
Now, some of the people that are homeless that are out in the street, some of them, to be very honest, they really have no place to be. And this is why we are working tirelessly with groups that will make a commitment with the government so that we can provide the solution. And the solution really is to have a home for the people who are out in the streets. These people need to be clothed, they need to have food, they need to be cared for.
The Fiji Police Force is fully aware of what is happening, and that is why the force is working closely with other government stakeholders and other NGOs in an effort to solve the problem. As you all know, that there is a joint task force of the relevant stakeholders, which is set up.
Oh, this gang sleeping here, and then every day put the cotton and the matches and the rubbish. Then us gang come here and all the rubbish throw it in the rubbish tin.
Social welfare strongly believes some of these cases are not genuine.
Some we have actually been able to take them out of the streets because they were basically exploiting the public. And there was about 5 that we identified that were landlords and they had properties rented out, and some had lucrative facilities with 2 to 3 tenants. Those ones, clearly we take them out.
We attempted to speak to some of the homeless that make their home here every night, but no one was willing to tell their story. Meanwhile, the ministry says its task force team is looking at ways to minimize the growing number of homeless on our streets. Apisola Medoka, FBC News.
The government is set to expand the type of scholarships offered under the National Toppers Scheme. The 600 scholarships given out under the scheme is currently restricted to only certain fields of study, and this has led to only around half of the scholarships being applied for. Eleanor Tarangaivu reports.
Only 300 students have been identified and offered full tertiary scholarships under the National Toppers Scheme. However, many students are not interested.
The requirement for the market and government becomes the ultimate condition for the award of the scholarship to the student. And it's not necessarily in the student's area of study interest.
The toppers list have by and large been finalized. We are now looking at trying to expand some of the allocations, but that is something we're working through.
The Tertiary Loans and Scholarship Board is working hard to identify those who can take up the rest of scholarships on offer.
Certain studies like, pilot training, law, reading law and accounting, those are just some areas that this year's scholarship is not funding, which is in the area of what, a lot of the students have opted for.
We do have preferred areas of study where there is an abundance of people in a certain field. We have not offered scholarships there, but there is a wide range of study topics that the students can take advantage of.
The board has its hands full at the moment. While trying to find more students to take up its offer, it's also chasing down those who have been offered scholarships but are yet to take it up.
We have a sort of a rather embarrassing situation at the moment because we're still chasing after those that are in the list, but they don't seem to have expressed an interest to wanting to get a scholarship for it.
And those of the people who think that they qualify the scholarship or applied for loans and they haven't heard from the TSLB, please contact us.
The board is now finalizing the recipients of the Tertiary Education Loan Scheme. $52.5 million has been allocated by the government for this program. The irony is that this may be the first time in the country's history that students are not interested in free tertiary education. Eleanor Tarangaivu, FBC News.
A 60-year-old accountant from the United States has appeared in the Nandi Magistrates Court for allegedly possessing methamphetamine. Gregory Wilcox of the state of Ohio is alleged to have brought in 3.79 kilograms of the illicit drug and not 7.5 as stated by the Fiji Revenue and Customs Authority on Monday. Wilcox left Addis Ababa in Ethiopia and traveled via Hong Kong to Fiji. He was arrested by customs officers at Nandi International Airport during a routine check of his bag. Magistrate Penindali Tuivama told the court penalties in this case will be a fine of $1 million or life imprisonment. Wilcox has been remanded in custody to reappear in court on February 12th. The case has been transferred to the Lautoka High Court due to the seriousness of it. Still to come on FBC News, plans in place to put the capital city's traffic problems to an end.
Today FM is #1 here in Singatoka.
We love Today FM in Lambasa. It rocks!
My favorite station in Nandi is Today FM.
Listening to Today FM rocks in Subah.
Lautoka City love today's kid music.
I love Today FM because they play all my songs.
We love Today FM at Vuniva Lambasa. Yeah, it rocks!
I love Today FM because it rocks.
Today's hit music on Today FM.
Welcome back. This is FBC News. Trade unionist Daniel Orai has finally put an end to speculation about his involvement in politics, officially revealing for the first time he and fellow unionist Felix Anthony's involvement in the People's Democratic Party. The president of the Fiji Trades Union Congress has indicated to Radio New Zealand he and Union General Secretary Felix Anthony will resign and contest in the general elections under the PDP banner. Under the political party's decree, the two unionists are banned from belonging to any political party, which means the duo need to resign from their union first before they can partake in elections. Orai says they are taking the step to leave the union because workers need a voice in parliament. Meanwhile, recently resigned PDP spokesperson Nirmal Singh confirmed over the weekend that it was the interference of Orai and Felix that led to his resignation. Suva lawyer Cholame Ulundole will not be able to practice for 2 years after he was found guilty of 2 charges of professional misconduct. Ulundole has been publicly reprimanded and he will not be able to apply for a certificate until March 2016. He has also been ordered to pay $3,000 to the Independent Legal Services Commission. Ulundole was found guilty of not keeping a trust account in October 2012 and sometime between June and July 2013, as stated in the Trust Accounts Amendment Decree. The legal practitioner's decree states this is an act of professional misconduct. The capital city's traffic woes may soon come to an end if things go according to plan. The Fiji Roads Authority has started discussions on a greater Suva transportation strategy, which covers more than just the growing traffic issues. Edwin Nund has the details.
The last study on Suva's roads was done about 13 years ago. Very little came of it. This time around, things will be different.
There is so much traffic, and because of the uniqueness of Suva, it's a peninsula. So we need to make sure that everybody has space to walk around and go about their business in a safe and secure way.
It's not just building more roads, there's options to use the road space more efficiently and definite aim to reduce congestion.
Peak hour traffic jams have become a way of life as thousands of Fijians travel to and from work every day. The Fiji Roads Authority is considering the needs of public transport, freight, general traffic, and is also going to push for the promotion of walking and cycling.
You want to build on the infrastructure that's already in place, but it's looking at the future, you know. So many different organizations are already looking at the future in their area. You know, the ports development, the LTA needs to look at what they're going to develop. We want to make sure that we are looking in the same way and in the same direction.
There will be, no doubt, some key focuses on particularly the Nasuri to Suva corridor, with the sheer amount of people that travel on it every day.
The new strategy will also provide for people with disabilities and for those who prefer to walk.
It's walking, cycling, kids going to school and disabled access. They are important people in our society, so we want to make sure that we focus more on that. It's not just the big bridges and the big highways.
It's no secret that Suva's roads can't keep up with the amount of traffic flowing in and out of the city every day. What the new strategy hopes to do is come up with a solution that will last at least 20 years. Not just looking at easing traffic congestion, but addressing every aspect of transportation in the greater Suva area. Edwin Nund, FBC News.
The Fiji National Provident Fund is promising to extend and improve its services even more by setting up additional agencies with better IT services. The FNPF Members Forum in Nandi today told Fijians how it plans to improve its record financial performance of last year. Akosita Tale has the story.
As Fiji's largest financial institution, the Fiji National Provident Fund hopes to take its services to every Fijian.
We know that the locations of our current office limited access we as members. Some of you have to travel long distances to reach our FNPF office. As such, plans are underway to open new branches in agencies in town, outside the main cities.
The record net surplus of $293 million last year is encouraging FNPF to reach out to more Fijians all over the country.
If you look on the left side, there is a Nadi hotel. We are going to rebuild that and we'll move our office into there. Basically, the whole idea is bringing our service right.
Fijians are being encouraged to use the institution's improved information technology capability for a better and more effective service.
This should benefit you through faster turnaround time in the processing of your applications, more online services, to name a few. We expect the new systems to be operational by 2014 for phase 1 and 2015 for phase 2.
The forum will continue at the Waterfront Hotel in Lautoka on Friday. Akosita Tale, FBC News.
Sports now, and here's Jamie with the latest.
Thanks, Jackie. Coming up in
sports
sports
check
tonight.
it out, Jamie. It says happy birthday. Everybody, we just want to wish Jamie, our sports presenter, a very happy birthday. He's sweet 16 again.
Still younger than you.
Sure. Keep dreaming.
Somehow I knew this was coming. Anyway, back to a news bulletin. Coming up in sports tonight, more from our Fiji 7 side in Wellington, and jet runners eager to host more international events. Stay with us for the details.
Nambula FM krake taletaki.
Gonga elambasa Bula FM number 2 na sere.
Ndo talita kana borong en Bula FM. Number 2 na sere su.
Kau buat tu geraki au rebot tu nistima au ndo talita kana borong en Bula.
Bola bina Fiji, Bula FM, number 2 Singatoka.
Bola bina Eranroga, Bula FM, number 2 Tikoga.
Bula FM, number 2 en sere.
Welcome back to FBC Sports. Only 2 days before the start of the New Zealand Sevens, and the Fijian team is now winding down its training runs. It had a scrimmage late yesterday and a session this morning with only one more run remaining before games begin on Friday. Here's Indra Singh with an update from Wellington.
The HSBC Wellington Sevens news coverage is brought to you in conjunction with Skipper Tuna, better taste, better value, and Fiji Airways.
This was the second last training run for the side before the start of the Wellington Sevens.
But I was happy with what we saw in our improvements, particularly defensively. That was good, and the boys learnt a lot from it as well. So happy with that.
The players were again, just like the past week, put through their phases with timely reminders of not to lose focus of what lies ahead.
And they're like me, they're just trying their hardest, and if they give it everything they've got, then you've got nowhere else to go. That's it. And if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. So they seem fine. They seem pretty relaxed as a unit. They're on time for everything.
The scrimmage session against Wales yesterday did prove to be a headache for Ryan as he works on his starting 7, with all players impressing him.
They're pretty tight as a group, and they're really looking forward to the first game.
Some minor injuries have also been played down.
They're fine. Mossy just had a couple of stitches in his lip from a head clash, and Oscar actually got cramp. He gets cramped quite a lot. He got cramp in his shoulder this time, and we'd had a weight session in the morning. The boys aren't that used to doing that sort of stuff.
Ryan, along with the rest of the brigade, are now bent on making Fiji proud. What will be done up until tomorrow will only be great if put into practice from Friday. Indra Singh, FBC Sports.
The parade that stops New Zealand's capital city took place earlier today. With the tournament 2 days away, it was the annual parade to welcome teams to Wellington. And as usual, it was one which drew fans through the streets, including a large number of Fijians. Here's Indra Singh with more.
While Australia has the race that stops a nation, Wellington Sevens parade stops this city.
Yeah, it's brilliant, isn't it? You know, it's great to spend time with the public. It can't all be work, and this is where you have a bit of fun and you connect with our fanatical supporters. Plus, alphabetically, it's England and Fiji on the float, so I get to see all the grief England I've had for 7 years. I'm on the happy float.
Fiji, as usual, drew a big fan base during the march along Wellington's Lambton Quay, with fans wanting to catch a glimpse of their heroes.
Fijian fans always turn out for Wellington because it's close to home and there's plenty of Fijians living here. I guess it's a boost for the boys to see the fans coming out in numbers to cheer the team on.
Some fans will not be able to make the trip to the stadium from Friday, but today just wanted to wish their Fijians all the best.
The main purpose of dressing up is just to showcase our wonderful culture and tradition that we have at home.
Good luck with all years around, and we hope that they do well.
Well, we wouldn't call it Wellington Sevens without the Fiji team.
Well, the atmosphere for Fijian here in Wellington is that we always look forward.
It is the Fijian communities that are here, the unity that they have, the togetherness that they have.
Behind me is the funfair and activities on the street parade as the Samoans go past me. Fiji, Samoa and New Zealand, the biggest crowd draws here in Wellington at Lambton Quay. Now it will be all straight to business, and from Friday it's all systems and actions to go. Indra Singh for FBC Sports in Wellington.
The fastest man in the Fiji Sevens team is ready to make his last Wellington outing a memorable one. Samisoni Viriviri is one of the top try scorers in the current RB World Series and will look at continuing this fine form in the 15 squad. The France-bound player says he just wants to do what is best for the team and not take on individual plaudits. Meanwhile, with all the hype about FRU's big sponsors, the Fiji Sevens team is focused only on the Wellington tournament. With confirmation that Fiji will be playing in its new sponsored strip, Coach Ben Ryan says his team only wants to do well in Wellington.
I haven't had anything to be 100% certain on what's going on, so I'm just getting my head down and working and letting the guys back at FRU sort that out. Coaches are here to coach, manage and lead. That's their job. It's three areas that they've got to be good at, and that's what I'm just working on.
New Zealand Sevens coach Gordon Tidgens has named the veteran halfback Tomasi Dhama in his final 12-member team. Dhama missed the Las Vegas tournament a fortnight ago, but is back and joined by Sherwin Stowers and 19-year-old debutant Akira Ioane. Also making a comeback is Ben Lam.
We lost 3 players prior to going to Vegas, and Junior was one of those, and Joe Weber, and of course Stowers and Lamb. And so yeah, it's obviously a changed team, but then it's a different environment here as well. It's a bigger pitch, you know. Got some tough games: Fiji, Spain, and obviously France at the end. So she's not an easy pull, so it'll be a good challenge for us.
Meanwhile, France, which is in Fiji's pool, doesn't want to be bullied by the Fijians and the New Zealand side. The French might not have the big names, but the side wants to make a mark at the cake tin. France and Spain are not expected to make the Cup quarterfinals from the pool, but are bent on upsetting the odds.
It's a very, very difficult poll for France, but we are very happy to play against Fiji and New Zealand because they are a very strong team. It's a better teams in the sevens, and it's important for France to play against this kind of team to progress.
The HSBC Wellington Sevens news coverage was brought to you in conjunction with Skipper Tuna, better taste, better value, and Fiji Airways.
Club in Nandi is hoping that the inaugural beach running event this weekend will become a major draw card for local and overseas athletes. The beach run will begin at 7 a.m. on Saturday at Wailolo Beach in Nandi. There are plans to host beach running alongside mountain running events as a means to attract more runners.
After organizing these beach runs and mountain runs and road relay championships, I will send the result to International Beach Athletics and Oceania Athletics too. So maybe we'll given the opportunity to host one in Fiji. If we are given that opportunity, I think the tourists and people around the world will love to visit to Fiji and run beach running and mountain running, etc.
That's it from Sports Tonight. Good evening.
Fiji is set to become the first Pacific Island nation to export fresh ginger to Australia. The Biosecurity Authority says a lot of work is being done on the ground to ensure the first batch of ginger is sent to Australia by April, leading an increase to foreign earnings. Vosita Kotewasawasa reports.
Even though we have been exporting ginger to far-flung countries like the USA, we haven't until now been able to export ginger to our close neighbours in Australia. But it's not an easy market to crack into. The Biosecurity Authority says it's been working for months to ensure a proper pathway is developed.
I think a lot of work is been done on the ground, but we'll try and push our counterparts so that the plan is for ginger. We wanted to start in sometimes in April.
Rototo says getting the green light to export ginger is complicated and they want to ensure that the commodity is of quality.
A lot of stringent measures in place just because of the pest and disease status, I mean, that's understandable for any country and trying to protect their biodiversity.
For ginger farmers, this spicy rhizome promises the sweet smell of success. A ginger farmer from Naitasiri says farmers in Viria and Waimaro are excited about this new market opportunity that will lead to a considerable increase in earnings.
We have around about 73 registered farmers right now. Altogether, we have 193. Apart from that, 73 registered farmers are ready to harvest on
on those markets and local.
Biosecurity says it's also working closely with farmers to improve the quality of export produce that may soon be extended beyond ginger. There are now definite plans to export pawpaw and breadfruit to Australia within the next 2 years. Wasita Kotumwasa, FBC News.
Weather time now, and I'm very impressed with today's conditions, Jen.
Yes, Jackie, no doubt we had an absolutely beautiful day. In fact, it's been several days since we've had this much sun. Look at that. I don't know, Jackie, maybe it's because a certain someone is turning a year older. If that's the case, I think we should celebrate again tomorrow. And with the sunshine came the high temperatures. It would have shocked me a while ago to see one of our centers on 35 degrees, but not anymore. With this level of heat, 37 is just around the corner. Forget the umbrellas tomorrow and bring out those sunglasses. Not a single raindrop or cloud in sight, so you can give those brollies a rest. We'll head to Nassau Vakaroa village, Navatu Sila in Nandronga now. Thank you very much, Sulu Ondranimasi. A gorgeous scene indeed.
Thanks so much for that, Genevieve. The main stories again. Prominent high school investigated for not starting classes. Big increase in the number of homeless in the capital, and students not interested in scholarships. On to our poll question for this week. We're asking, should smoke detectors be compulsory in all houses? Visit the FBC website to answer. Remember, you can send us newsworthy pictures and videos on email citizenseyes@fbc.com.fj or share it with us via Facebook page FBC News. And if you're on Twitter, follow and tweet us your stories at FBC News or simply hashtag FBC News. That's all from us today. Good night.
Mirchi FM is #1 in Singapore.
और किसके सुनिए यार, हमारा एक सच्चा साथी है मिर्ची एफएम लंबा साथ.
I love Mirchi FM. It's so hot. देखे में लाल लाल, खाए में हाय हाय. Tangi tangi taupo में Mirchi FM is hot.
Here at Rugby Town, Singapore, love listening to Mirchi FM. Mirchi FM, it's hot.
Mirchi FM is #1 in Suva. It's hot.
हम वहीं लंबा सा में रहता है. तो क्या बताएं, हम मिर्ची एफएम सुनता है.
Mirchi FM, bon julum julum.
Mirchi FM, it's hot.